Kronk and the Bro podcast.
Kronk and the Bro.
All right. Gotta get this over with.
Hey everyone, welcome to Pat's Punishment, his worst nightmare reality TV book report.
Kronk, very good.
How'd it go?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Oh,
But it
bummer.
was still brutal. I mean,
Yeah, I caught glimpses of your face
yeah.
during a lot of it, just like the
Bridget Jones' Diary is still number one in terms
wow,
of punishment, but this one,
really?
yeah. This
Shocking.
one, this punishment, reality TV ain't my bag, and neither is the Kardashians. However,
Not my bag either,
Yeah.
for the record.
it wasn't as brutal as I thought it was going to be. I'll give it credit for that.
Noted. Need to dig a little deeper
Well,
for
please don't
further punishment.
Please don't, because you have this winning streak going on. It's very annoying,
Yep.
and you're dipping into reality TV shows, which is, I guess I got lucky with this one particular episode that you picked for me, but still, we need to put a stop to Kronk winning. She has to stop. Kronk, you got to stop winning. You gotta win this
I'm
trivia.
obeying by the terms of our deal.
I just need to win trivia because it's beginning.
We said we could dip into TV, so I did it. I went for it.
This is getting out of control. So it's just
Oh,
I know
so
it.
good.
I know it can get worse.
Feels so good to win.
Oh God. All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Can't wait to hear your observations on this.
By the way, hello everyone. Thanks for listening and watching, and I hope those of you that actually like this show can remember this episode. So I feel old because I saw when we were looking for episodes.
Mm-hmm.
There's 19 seasons of the Kardashians. Now, still,
Yeah.
even if they do like 2 seasons a year,
They have to. They're
Right?
They haven't been doing it for 19 years now.
right? But still, 19 seasons.
I know. I think technically there's 20 because I think they're
There's like a
on
new,
the platform.
There's a live one.
There's one that hasn't been
So
out
basically,
yet.
they've had the show for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
At least 8,
I
10
actually
years.
did it say it on the platform? I want to say I remember reading it started in 2007.
Okay. Yes. It's a long,
Yeah.
It's a good run.
No, so that would mean they've been doing it for 14 years.
14 years. Wow, I feel really old now. Okay. Well, anyways, here goes.
Okay.
Book report, just for visual purposes and
Nice.
proof that I did write out a report.
Oh, I wasn't going to let you get off that easy. No way.
So, all right. Here we go. Hello, class. My report today will cover my latest punishment. Kronk has decided that I must watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, K-U-W-T-K for purposes. Season 7, Episode 1, Who's Your Daddy? Wow. This episode wasn't as brutal as I thought it would be, but it was still brutal, as I mentioned before. This episode begins with all the girls hanging out in the house while the mother schemes about her life. Chris, the mom, talks about her book and memoirs of when she was a real slut prior to having kids. After 3 minutes of Googling it, she learns about the rumors of how Khloe, her oldest, might not be the daughter of the late Rob Kardashian. Commercial break. Meanwhile, Bruce Jenner is frustrated because he feels left out of the picture while watching TV and sitting on the couch by himself. Bruce complains about not being involved while the daughters are out looking at property for their own store. Chris and Bruce argue about the fact of whether or not Bruce is respected while he's eating potato chips sitting on the couch. Commercial break. Chris schemes a DNA paternity test behind Khloe's back and ambushes her by tricking her into coming over for dinner. The doctor gets denied by Khloe to get a swab of her DNA. Then there was a commercial break. In the end, Khloe never agrees to the DNA test to truly determine if Chris got knocked up by a total rando. The world will never know. Bruce apparently gets respect when he takes the girls out for yogurt. Bruce exercised his respect demons by taking his daughters out. Excuse me. Bruce exercised his respect demons by talking to his daughters for for 5 minutes while eating ice cream. The end. But first, a commercial break. Patrick Young, a.k.a. The Bro. That is my book report.
Yes.
On Who's Your Daddy?
Who's Your Daddy?
Episode 1 of Season 7 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Okay. I mean...
Wow.
Yes. 2 things you missed, though.
What did I miss?
Well, you got wrong, I should say. Not got wrong, but just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the paternity stuff was not when she was a slut before she had kids. This is speculation of Khloe, so it was like in the midst. So Khloe's not the oldest, by the way. I think
Wait.
Kourtney is the oldest, then Kim, then Khloe.
I thought... Oh.
Because...
Wait.
Essentially, the paternity test was to determine whether Rob Kardashian was her dad or Bruce Jenner, because she went on to have an affair with Bruce and then get a divorce. Or, so, somewhere.
I don't think either of us know.
No,
I bet you were both wrong about this stuff.
No, it wasn't about being slutty before she had kids. It was in the middle of her having kids.
Okay, I'm confused. Okay. I guess we need to
We got to unpack this.
I guess we have to try to figure out who the old... Okay, so what I thought was that Khloe was the oldest, hence she would be the first kid that she would have had that Kris would have had with Rob Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. And that's why she had to... The emphasis was on Khloe to get tested. And I thought she was the oldest.
No. The reason it was scandalous is because it was in the middle of her having kids, I think. Pretty sure that Khloe, her marriage was falling apart for a lot of different reasons. She was saying, right? And I think that that's what she was getting flack for. That she had an affair with this guy, and then she had the affair with Bruce, and then who she did ultimately end up leaving her husband for and marrying him, and having 2 different kids with him.
Oh, I'm confused. I'm confused now too.
I'm sorry.
My timeline's all messed up. I mean, it doesn't. I obviously, as spoiler alert, I don't know what the hell is going on with this family.
All right, do you want me to look it up real quick?
I mean, if
to
you
settle
want
it?
to, and meanwhile, while you do that, this is what I thought the timeline was.
Okay.
The timeline was, it was like, because Rob Kardashian is famous for the OJ trial, right? Because he was OJ's buddy, like not attorney, but kind of like advisor or like manager or something like that, and they were like friends. So I thought Rob died, right? I mean, obviously he did die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. Yeah, it's really sad. I thought he died, and then Kris got engaged to Bruce and got it in that way.
Got it.
That's what I thought the timeline was. I didn't realize that Bruce Jenner at the time was the reason why the marriage fell apart. So that's what I thought was going on. I didn't realize those relationships ever overlapped. I thought I'm basing this off of the what's it called, the true crime story thing, or what was the OJ TV series? What the heck is that called?
Yeah,
crazy.
American Crime Story.
American Crime Story. Thank you.
Okay, so I was right.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Kourtney is the oldest, then Kim, then Khloe, then Rob, and then with, Bruce Jenner now, Caitlyn Jenner, Kendall, then Kylie.
Okay, so Khloe's the youngest. Interesting.
No. Well, the youngest of that little pod.
I'm sorry, the youngest of the Kardashians, not the youngest of the Jenners.
The Jenners, right. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify
All right,
that.
so that... Okay.
So that's more to what the scandal was. I mean, look, I understand lots of commercial breaks, extremely frustrating because I'm so spoiled with commercials. Yeah. All I do is watch streaming platforms, and Peacock is the one where we don't have the premium subscription. Yeah, I'm oh.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So, at any rate, but let's unpack this episode because...
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not my bag either.
Oh, I know, which is why it was if it's not your bag...
I know.
It is
so I'm really torturing myself too, in a way, because watching you watch it and then being there while you watch it. I mean, reality TV is so cookie cutter, right? Like, it's so contrived. Like, oh, let's find the conflict. Let's yell. Let's, like, be sassy to each other. And then let's find a resolution at the end. I'm so happy we're, like, working on our store again together.
Which at least, like, they're doing something. Like, at least, like, because some of these reality TV shows, the characters don't do anything. They just sit around and just talk, and they just talk trash. I mean, it sounds like they're. I mean, obviously,
True.
like we know they have money because I think they made more money after the fact,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Since,
So like,
yeah.
So it's like, at least they're doing something. At least they have like a store, and they're not just dating. Because a lot of the reality stuff is like who they're dating is like who they are, not necessarily what they. At least they have like a store and they have product lines. I mean, which I respect. That's cool. At least they're doing that.
Yeah, they have a business.
But that's why I loved making fun of Bruce
businesses.
at the time, because he's like, well, no one pays attention to me. I'm not involved. Meanwhile, he's like upstairs by himself intentionally, like just sitting on the couch and eating food.
Yeah,
You know?
his bits are the most contrived, honestly.
Yeah,
Because it's like
he's out of place.
he's like, well, I left and nobody's paying attention to me.
Yeah.
He's just having like a whole little pity party.
Yeah.
And yeah, I imagine the producers are feeding him things to say to the camera because it just looks so unnatural.
Yeah. No, the only thing I respected that he was saying was this freaking DNA test. Because he was like, he's like, don't feed into that, don't get into that, because it is weird. Like, Chloe's already like an adult. I mean, I guess it would be worse if she wasn't an adult, and like, let's say she was like 5, let's say she was like a teenager. That would probably be the worst scenario. If she's like in high school, and her mom's like, well, I want to prove that you're Rob's daughter and not some random dude I noodled around with during our marriage. Like,
Okay.
at least she's an adult, but it's still awkward. Like, imagine, like, you know what I mean? Like, just imagine that from her perspective. It's like, oh, I'm finding out really like now. I don't know how old she is. Let's say she's like 25, 30 now. I don't know how old she is.
Yeah, and it's a lose-lose situation because even if that father figure was an emotional father figure, like her dad is dead. Her dad was your dad, and like just honor his memory.
Yeah.
Like getting this biological stamp of approval is not gonna change that relationship that you had. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so tricky. And
But she was in like Kim. She had lunch with Kim because they just had to go out for lunch to talk about this. Like, even though like the day before they already talked about it, but the day after they had to go to lunch again somewhere different. And then Kim was like, "It's about you. It's not about Chloe." It's ridiculous. It's just weird that I'm even talking about this.
I know. Just just the fact that we are like,
I'm like dropping names. Like, I actually know. I don't know. I mean,
I
like
know.
I said, this show could have been.
It's a stretch to even have enough to talk about. I mean, certainly in the scope of reality TV, it's not my bag. But I will say, like you're saying, like at least they have businesses. They're businesswomen. I have a lot of issues with what they do, but certainly you do whatever you need to do to go make your money. They're certainly crushing it on the money front. So there's a lot worse reality TV out there. And I'm so curious to hear from you, like, what's the bottom of the barrel? So, we have the Kardashians, but like, what's even worse?
I remember, I think it was like in high school, probably before this show came out. I mean, I think the Paris Hilton show. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh yeah, it was
the Paris
so
Hilton
bad.
show. They took her to like a farm and made her do like farming stuff, and her and her friends had to like, I don't know, like clean stables, and they were just like you know what I mean? It was just
I think
like,
it was Nicole Richie.
I think
in that show with her.
Yep, that's who it was. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So like they
Yeah.
had to go and like work on a farm or something like that, and it was just like, this is like awful. Like this is like completely set up and
So fake. I mean, all of it is fake.
I mean, like,
in a way.
you believe the fact that these girls would be completely useless on a farm. Like, you believe that
Oh, yeah,
because
I
they're
believe that.
They're
They're
just
a bunch of rich, spoiled kids.
even if they aren't like even if they're necessarily spoiled, like they've never done like work. So like, of course they're gonna look stupid, and like, I mean, I guess like, they just make it simple. They just gotta film them, but like, that to me was like, this is just like air. They just want
Oh.
something on the air. Whatever. I guess it's like they're entertaining. I guess, I always thought like, well, the real world, that started out to be a cool thing, but then it got trashier as it went on.
Yeah, Real World was bad. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
right there with Jersey Shore for me. It's just like a bunch of like people who have nothing to do and they're in a house and now they're all just like trying not to kill each other, but
Yeah.
not always succeeding. I don't know.
They just party and hook up with each other. It sounds like that's what
Oh,
Jersey
yeah.
Shore is.
That's all they did. I mean, that was really what Real World was like too, though.
Yeah, but that's true. I just feel like the Jersey Shore stuff. I never, again, that's like, it just seems like they were pushed to go out and party more. The Real World was more like, it was like the Real World was like the first reality show that I can remember, and it was just like they had a house, and I think they had like I guess they had jobs and all that stuff, and it was more like life
Okay.
versus partying, and like they did go out and of course they got drunk and got in arguments, right? But that's how the show got interesting. But I feel like Jersey Shore is more of the push of because the Jersey Shore takes place like in the summer. They film them in the summer, going to clubs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
at
but
night.
Real World may have started that way, but as the seasons went on, like each passing season, like just got worse and worse. Like right there with Jersey Shore.
Well, that's what shifted MTV as well.
Yeah.
Reality TV definitely destroyed MTV.
Oh yeah, like the teen moms of the world, and
Oh,
but you know
I
what?
changed my answer now. You just said it.
I knew it. I was waiting for you to say it. Actually, I didn't mean to take it from you.
Haven't seen a single episode, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, teen mom would be in the worst category for me, and also, oh man, I just blanked on it. Hold on.
Well, True Life is another one.
Oh, The Bachelor.
Oh,
The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. It's just like, oh my god.
I know, those shows are like, people love that shit. People love those shows.
And like, I've gone to friends' house. Like, I never would watch it voluntarily, but I've been at friends' houses who watch it diligently. I'm like, oh, come on. This is so bad. Oh, give me a rose and let's sit in the hot tub with me. We finally have alone time in this hot tub. We finally get to go on a date. Like,
Yeah, it's a little bit weird of a structure, I guess, because it's like...
oh, it's so weird. I just can't believe people are still like buying into it.
Yeah.
They're still doing them. People are still like poster child for Bachelor, Bachelorette.
I mean, if you're the Bachelor and like there's like 20 women fighting over you,
Oh, it's got to be great.
it's
to
a
be
good
that
setup.
person.
At least if you're a guy, I mean, for a girl, it must be annoying. I mean, maybe not. Maybe
you get to sleep with a lot of people. You get to hook up with a lot of people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if you're a guy, it's a no-brainer. You sign up for that. But like, for a girl, even it's like, would you even want to do that if you're? I mean, of course you get famous, I guess. So I guess it's worth it. And like, you can reject people. You don't have to hook up with everybody, right? They just like, you have to eliminate people. But it's like,
no, I don't think it's like a precursor that you have to hook up with every person there. But I would imagine
Yeah, I
they
have
at
no
least
clue.
kiss every person that's on the show, if not do more things off camera.
off camera,
Because
scandalous.
there's definitely some off camera, I mean, these people are like throwing themselves at these other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
But
think
going
the
back
worst-
to Teen Mom, because I know you have a lot to say about Teen Mom.
Teen Mom, I think it's very, very bad. I think it's bad for like society too, because it's sad. Like,
I know.
they, because I mean, I guess it's good and bad. It's good because teenagers who are watching this growing up, they're like, wow, like this poor girl got knocked up. The guy she hooked up with is another immature idiot.
Mm-hmm.
He's barely in the picture. And now I have to juggle this life, and I'm so restricted, and like they see them losing all their friends. Like, of course, like ideally when you have kids, you want to be married and have have things settled up. So I guess it's good in that way where it shows like, I'm sure it's scripted obviously, but
Oh yeah.
All
of them are.
But at least it's like these people's these girls' lives are like get ruined early because they're not ready for this. You know, like
Yeah.
the life hits you hard when you have a kid and you're not number one anymore. You
Well,
know.
and not only that, like I think there's something, and you see it in like child actors too. I think there's something kind of bad that happens to like people who put themselves on TV too young. Like some people can like progress on and like continue in that career or take a different career, but
Yeah.
some child actors have such a skewed sense of reality and like really then in turn like they almost like peak early and then they
Get depressed afterwards. Yeah, that
yeah,
happens a
really.
lot.
They
Yeah.
have a hard time integrating into real life, I think.
Right, because yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, you're right because there are some actors who like they're like the most famous person from when they're like 15 to 20, and then like they hit their mid 20s and they're not being cast in movies anymore because they've already been labeled as branded as this and they will never
Yeah.
be anything else. And then when they're like 30, 40, they probably have like mental breakdowns because they don't know anything else. And everyone
Yeah.
sees them, they're like, "Oh, like you haven't been in anything in a while." And it's like, "Well, yeah, I was the man for 10 years." Like,
Right.
which is
I
if
had
you have
this narrow window.
if you have a 10-year success on TV, like that's huge. It's sad that it's sad that people entertainment. It's rough because it's like they put this pressure on themselves. And it's like you have to be the man for 40 years, like for the rest of your life, from 20 to like to like till you're 70. You have to be
Yeah.
like on point every single year. Like it's unrealistic. You know?
Yeah, and also if they grow out of their type, which they're going to do, especially if
You're getting older.
people are famous when they're really little, right?
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna grow up, and maybe they're not as cute or they just look different as they
Yeah.
should because that's what happens when you get older and you grow up and
Yeah.
it's really hard on them. So I think the teen mom thing, a similar thing happens there where they get sucked into this like TV life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's probably confusing for the kids too.
'Cause
These
they're
kids are
growing
growing
up,
up
they're
on
like, "Wow,
TV.
Yeah, there's cameras following my mom around, and like, my mom can't, like, she's like scraping by, but she's on TV. She's like poor, but she's on TV, which MTV's like they're not paying them a ton of money. Like they're probably giving them a float, obviously, if you're on
Yeah.
the show.
You think
But
so?
but then what happens? They're gonna want a new Teen Mom next season. It's not like you're guaranteed to be on TV for the rest of your life.
No,
They're
they're
jumping
not.
on to the next
They're
Teen
not
Mom.
setting them up for life.
No.
No way.
No.
Yeah. No.
So then it's like you're stuck here, and like I said, I mean, we're seeing it now. People who have kids, it's a time suck, which it is because it's not your life anymore.
Oh yeah, if you have
It's
to
everyone's
be
life.
when you become a parent, in order to be a good parent, you have to, put the kid first.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's time, and that's everything. Your money, resources. I mean, it's everything. So, but yeah, and that's part of it too. It's like for girls to see that, and guys got to see it too, because guys are like, of course, like you hope that if these teen girls get pregnant, at least the guy's in the picture, But sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
And sometimes it makes better TV. Unfortunately, oh, you're a single teen mom. Oh my God, we got to have you on the show.
Yeah.
I know it's like really sad that way.
I
So
know.
at least it's good in that way, but of course it's bad because it shows like, how depressing it is, and then like they show the guy for like 5 minutes. He's like some goofy kid who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's it's like that's another sad part.
Yeah.
And they're on TV. It's not like I don't know. Hopefully, after they have a season on TV, they help them. But it's like it's also not MTV's thing. Like these people have to ultimately change their lives themselves. But that's the worst.
I know. It's really sad. But I want to hear now, like, what your favorites are. I mean, I know neither of us indulge in the reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
But is there, like, oh, this one I make an exception for kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess this is back when I had cable regularly.
You mean before your mean wife said, let's save money and cancel cable?
Yes. Well, to be fair, I really only watch sports on TV now, and then like if there's a cool movie on. But when I was watching cable more regularly, I would say, I watch sports. So mixed martial arts is one of them. The Ultimate Fighter. It's technically a reality TV
Okay.
series.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's a guilty pleasure because not even because of the fights, but because these guys live in a house together, and they'll start pranking each other, and then out of nowhere they just start talking smack about each other, and then it builds up, and then they fight each other.
Yeah.
Now the coaches make the matchups, but there's always one guy always gets drunk and he's like, "I'll fight you right now," and it's a bunch of just like bros going at it. Now eventually, like, it started with the men, and there are they do have women Ultimate Fighters now too. When the UFC launched like the women's divisions and all that, and then obviously Ronda Rousey was big. She she catapulted women's mixed martial arts, but and other ones did too before her. But it was like you watch them, they talk shit, and then it was satisfying because they had to actually fight each other, and you knew that was real because you knew that was the real part. Of course, like them getting drunk and keep getting into situations and all these interviews, like you don't know what the time lapse was. This could have been like interviews that happened over months. But at least when they fought, they're fighting for a contract. So like at least that was satisfying, because one thing I guess for guys ultimately. You see plenty of bar fight. Anyone who watches YouTube videos, the bar fights and the drunk people yelling each other. Eventually, I love the drunk bar fights on YouTube. Thankfully,
you could call those a portion of reality TV on YouTube, right?
I would admit to guilty pleasure of that because eventually it's like, when is this douche gonna get knocked out for bragging about how much money his dad has? You always want. That's what you want to see. You want to see the guy who's like, "Do you know who my dad is?" And then you want to see him getting knocked the F out as soon as possible. Yeah. And that's when it's satisfying. That's my reality TV show guilty pleasure.
Yeah, well, and the one you showed me most recently was crazy. It was this like pizza shop in Brooklyn that a random fight just broke out, and then like the workers jumped in to try to stop it, and then they like grabbed the pizza paddle.
And the stone, that was crazy.
Oh my god!
Because they axe dropping it. I mean, that's just
that was insane.
That's like real life, but like that's like you go behind the counter.
Yeah, that's not staged at all.
The whole team, like you're picking a fight with everyone behind that counter, and that happens too. Like there's all those videos about people at like McDonald's and convenience stores and all that stuff, but that's crazy though. You have a guilty reality TV pleasure?
Well, I have two categories for them. I have like the adventure ones where I really like The Amazing Race. That would be
interesting,
really fun to do. Well, I do think I also have this like dream of like having the stamina to go on that show. It would be so fun. So Amazing Race would be one, and also I really love to travel, so that would be a cool like fantasy to indulge in, to maybe hop on the race with someone, maybe you.
Because all right, so I think I've seen clips of it. It's kind of like scavenger hunt.
Yeah, scavenger hunt over the span of like different countries and like challenges essentially, and like it's a competition and there's a cash prize, and the cash prize is not the reason I would do it. For me, it's more the travel.
Excuse to travel. Yeah.
Portion. Just cool. Having like a competition that spans different countries and continents, I think would be so cool.
That's cool.
Nothing quite like it, really. So that would be the adventure category and travel category. But then I would say what's more my guilty pleasure would be like the cooking shows. I don't watch a ton of them, but the ones I watch I really love. Like I honestly like the baking shows the most. So you're gonna think this is so bougie, I know, and you make fun of me for it. The Great British Baking Show.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's just so English and fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I can talk a lot of shit about baking shows and cooking shows and all that stuff, but if you're there in person and you can smell that food and you want to eat it on TV,
you're gonna want to eat it. Well, and
I will admit,
the biggest problem with watching these shows, honestly, is that you get so hungry watching them.
Of course,
I've made the mistake many times where I watch a cooking show and I'm like trying to go to bed. And I'm like, this was so stupid. Now I'm starving. Now I want to go make cupcakes.
You want to get the recipe and try to duplicate it.
Well, and I do, on the American side of things, I love the cake wars and cupcake wars. Because I love watching those really intricate cakes getting made. I mean, I think that's why I like Great British Baking Show too, because they do a lot of really detailed work, and they also do cakes that I've never heard of. I'm like, ooh, that's different.
Back when we had TV, I remember these shows now.
We have Great British Baking Show. Don't you worry.
Oh, we have it on one of the streaming things?
Oh, don't worry. We can watch it on Netflix, boo.
Yeah.
Wow. You digging on me for canceling that cable? It was consensual, by the way.
We still have the show. We still have most. We don't have all the channels.
I know you don't have your sports, but you can stream a lot of your sports.
Yeah.
The whole world is going to bash me for having you cancel your sports.
Yeah.
It was consensual. Can you tell the world it was consensual, please?
Yes, it was technically consensual, yes.
What do you mean technically?
Well, because... I was definitely trying to hold on as long as I could. I wasn't 100% wanting to cancel, but
oh, I see. Now the truth comes out. Okay.
But adding up how much it was and versus the percentage of how we use it, we're not really big TV watchers, so
we're not.
That's why we had to look up the Kardashians, because we really had. I mean, you knew a little bit more, but. So I would look it up because we were clueless.
Well, we were moved into our apartment for weeks, and we just plugged in the PS4 to watch TV.
And you realize that the Kardashians, I had it completely backwards. Like you knew that Kourtney was the oldest. I thought Kourtney was the youngest, and I thought Khloe was the oldest. So I had it completely flipped. And these are like the most famous people in the world, and I'm clueless.
They're not. Oh God! Don't say they're the most famous people in the world.
Well, aren't they?
No. You think so? Oh God, I hope not. You think?
They got to be up there.
Well, they're up there, but you think like.
Well, maybe not like. I think
top?
I think probably like Leo DiCaprio or like these other celebrities, A-list celebrities are probably more popular.
Oh man, no, I know
but TV personalities. If you're talking about just TV personalities, they got to be up there.
Yeah, no.
They have to be.
No, and actually, if you look at, not that I look at these things, but every once in a while, someone I know will be like browsing on their page, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like 100 and something million followers, you know? And I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll give, it was a brutal punishment. Yes, watching the Kardashians was a brutal punishment.
You're welcome.
I'll give them credit for this. At least they were saying the things that, like some of the characters in the shows, not the characters, the girls on the shows, they were at least saying things that the audience was thinking, and not just like shamelessly saying stuff just to be dramatic. Like there was a small sense of like they would really say this in the situation, That's why I thought that's why I thought it was gonna be worse.
I would imagine that every line is not,
but
given to them by the producers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is staged, but then they must
the good thing is with what your shows you like, at least the competition is built in, and the competition will create the drama naturally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's at least the good thing about the competition shows, which is good. I guess we both seem to like competition-based shows.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not really into the shows like the people who like Real Housewives of whatever city.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
Your face.
I forgot about that. They have them like every city
Real
has
Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of New York. I mean, I don't watch them, but I mean, I catch the clips and I know people who love them, and that is another great example of what you were talking about, like just people sitting around talking shit.
That's all they do.
That's all they do.
And this is their full-time job, and they get in fights, and they just they get to just drink and just.
I know they get to go to brunch,
dinner parties.
They go to yoga. They go get plastic surgery. They get their nails done, and they get paid.
It's not a bad lifestyle, I guess. But I mean, But I forgot about the Real Housewives
Mm-hmm.
of America. The Real Housewives of America. I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Wow. That's a whole nother, that's like a whole episode right there about the Real Housewives.
Yeah, well, now I know that next time I win, because
We have to stop
let's
this winning
be
streak, ladies and
honest,
gentlemen.
I'm on this winning streak
It
here.
has to stop. It has to stop.
That would be a great one to torture with. Like, keep down this like reality TV
You're getting too good at this
rabbit
punishment.
hole here.
You're getting way too good at the punishment stuff. Kronk has to be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. Please send me your good vibes and your trivia knowledge vibes. I need to defeat you. This winning streak is going
This
on
is
too long.
great. This is great.
I need to get back.
I know. It's
You
really
have
so
3 in a
sad
row?
for you.
You have 3 in a row?
I do, yeah.
It's awful.
Oof. I'm on fire. Get it.
Oh man, it's terrible. But yeah, so that's I guess that's the good and the bad.
Yeah. I would love to dive into more of the cooking shows with you, but we'll save that for a later episode.
Well, cooking, yeah, that we'll definitely have to touch.
Because I think we should do a more hands-on episode.
Ooh, make shit.
Yeah.
And cook some stuff.
Now we got a new like really nice kitchen island. We should totally utilize that island. So
maybe do a cooking special.
yeah, I think we have to. We talk about food so much. I feel like.
Oh god, and I eat food. I eat enough food, right? So,
yeah. I mean, I feel like you would not argue with me if we did this.
No.
You would not stop me if I said, let's make a whole bunch of food and then record an episode.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd go along with it.
Good.
The exact opposite of watching reality TV.
You know what? But I do have one final question for you before we go.
Go ahead.
If you had to create your own reality TV show that you put yourself in,
Interesting.
like, what would it be?
Reality TV shows. I think for me, what I would want to do, it would definitely tie into sports, but I think what I would do is I would travel around the country and like just be like a fan of that team for a day. And I would like go to a game, go to the bar, go to the best restaurant.
That's cool.
In that area before a game, like, because I
tailgate.
Tailgating and like pre-gaming at a bar. And again, I mean, I'm not like a big drinker. Like I'll drink a little bit, but it'd be more about like, if I went to a Cubs game in Chicago, I've never been to Wrigley Field. I'd love it because that stadium is like super old. It's like early 1900s. It's like
cool.
older than Fenway. I think it's slightly, whatever. It's like in the same age group as Fenway Park. Which I've been to a bunch, but I would go to Wrigley Park and like go get the best deep dish in the area, like not like the tourist shit. I would get like the local deep dish, just like be a fan for a day. I think that's probably would be my reality show.
I like that.
That'd probably be it.
Yeah.
Now, other than that, if I did like a trashy one,
okay.
I guess I'd have to do like, for a trashy one. I have to do something with like driving crazy cars and like doing crazy things in cars, like going over jumps or like going off-roading and just interviewing crazy, just meeting with crazy people.
Yeah.
I have to do like a crazy like adventure, like Pat's Crazy Adventures. Like that would be like my trashy reality TV show.
That's great. I'd watch it.
Yeah. Let's go. Sign me up. I'm ready. So how about you?
Okay, so for the best of, for me, I think I would combine my two loves of traveling and baking. And I think I would love to travel the world and talk to like the best bakers, both small and large, independent big shops, in all different countries. So I'd go all over the world and learn new delicacies, new, what's the baking specialty in Spain, what is it in China, like just kind of travel the world talking to the most renowned bakers, and then also they could teach me how to bake it.
That's such a classy, like cultural like show. Mine's like the polar opposite. But just get drunk and go to a good game, or just get into a car and go off roading and like run into trees. And
hold on, I'm gonna get to my trashy one. Hold on, I'm gonna get there.
I can't wait for that one.
So yeah, I think that one makes the most sense for me because I
Yeah,
would
that
love
does.
to travel. I'd love to eat delicious food. I'm going to have to weave in some exercise in there somewhere because I'm going to like just travel the world and eat food. I
You'll
need
have
to.
to be on your private jet and like do yoga on your private jet or something.
Exactly.
Do hot
I'm
yoga
going to
on your
have to
private
do
jet, I
something in
guess.
there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would have so much fun doing that. And just like I love learning and then I love cooking and baking. So,
You're already good at it too. So if you go
oh,
on your
thank
own
you.
and did that, I mean,
And
it'd
more
be pretty lethal.
specifically,
You'd be
baking
lethal at baking.
interests me. Like the
Yeah.
baking specialties around the world as opposed to like cooking. I feel like there's enough content out there. I want to know about like that remote village in India, what their specialty is. Like
Okay.
really kind of more like niche market
Yeah.
kind of thing.
That's cool.
Okay, so then my trashy one would be, obviously I'd be going all around in jet skis because of my love for jet skis. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd be it's a similar concept. Maybe I'd just go like beach to beach and ride the waves in their jet skis and
Just get trashed on the
try
beach.
ocean cocktails or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be my like carefree, cabana by the beach with a jet ski kind of reality show.
That's pretty cool.
I don't want to live with people though. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm too old for that. I know.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Your trashy show's not going to do well if you got to have you got to
No,
have
no,
your
no. We
trash
can live
with
in like a
you.
little commune or something and like no, I'm serious. I like we can share a fire pit or something. Like we can
All right.
I'm not sharing a house with these people. No way.
Oh, I'm not talking about real world sharing a house, but you're gonna have to deal with some sort of trashy or edgy type of personalities in some way.
No, I just want
On
to
the
deal with them
beach.
on the beach. I don't want them to live in my house.
Okay.
I'm drawing the line in the sand.
You throw jet ski parties around the world. That way you can at least be like a jet ski
Yeah.
safe distance away from these people.
Or like Kronk's Cabana.
Kronk's Cabana.
You
That's
know,
a cool name
like
for a
I
show.
just I rent cabanas on beaches all over the world and I bring my jet ski with me
And you
somehow.
drink cocktails, yeah.
And I drink cocktails and people can meet me by the bonfire. That's like the
Okay, the
common.
bonfire. That's it.
I don't know. I have to keep them at like an arm's length. I don't know who these people
You're
are.
going to be tough to cast for a trashy reality. I think you're going to have to.
Well, it's fine because I want my
stay
classy
classy.
one to get
yeah,
picked up.
You're going to stay classy.
You know,
Yeah.
that one is the one I want to like go full steam ahead, and then with that money, I'll just buy my jet ski and my cabana. It's
Clearly, my classy and trashy reality TV shows are better suited either way. Either way, I'm ready to party with people and just
Yeah.
get nuts with people. So
both on the same page about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's great. So
Well, I think that's great. I think we're leaving here with a lot of good ideas.
mhm.
Now we'll just see what happens.
That's it. And I gotta stop. The Kronk streak has grown too long here. It's got to stop. I got to get revenge. That's my next move.
We'll see about that.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys very much for listening and watching.
Thank you for indulging in our reality TV episode, and
It's rough.
come back next week.
Take care.
Kronk and the Bro is produced in partnership by House of Kronk and Young Hall. This episode is edited and mixed by Sarah Kronk. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and follow us on social media at Kronk and the Bro. Thanks for listening.